Today's episode is a little different. We are not going to have your stereotypical corporate guy that is in real estate only, in particularly any wholesaler or real estate investor. Today we're talking about business and success story. And I'll let you introduce yourself. Big name out there. That there's so many things that you're doing currently. I want to get to know you and learn your story. First of all, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on.
So let's start with your story. I mean, it's impressive. This is the first time ever that anybody gets to hear this from a businessman. Everything that you had to do to get to where you're at right now, and I just don't think people understand how hard it is to want it. It's so hard like you did.
Absolutely. My name's Dylan Gemelli, 41 years old. I actually grew up south side of Des Moines. I went to high school at Lincoln. Went to college started at Iowa. I lasted about 3 weeks, to be honest with you.
That's how bad the story gets.
Hey, we'll just be honest and keep it real. I went through rush week, I guess 2 weeks of so-called going to class, and I realized quickly I better get my ass home. This is not going to work. And I wanted to play basketball anyway, and my dad played at Simpson. My mom and dad both went to Simpson. That's where they met, got married. And the coach actually played on my dad's team, so my dad had talked to him. They were going to still let me come back, and even though I was late and missed a lot of the preseason, get in and get on the team and go play. Plus, it was close to home, 30-minute drive from my house. So I went there. I got injured 2 years in a row, never panned out. I kind of fizzled out after that and stopped going that year. And that's when I started getting into modeling and acting because I always brushed it off. My mom always wanted to get me to go. Not my thing, not my idea of anything. And I was so down and upset, I decided, let's do it. So I went to an audition. And at the audition, you got selected. Now, they select a lot of people at these things. You shouldn't get your hopes up. They want you to go through classes, and you end up paying, it was about $3,500 you got to pay, $500 every couple weeks because they're taken to New York to compete. You got your room, your classes, all of that stuff. And then they cover, whatever. It actually turns out to be a pretty sweet deal. Once you understand that. So what I went to was something called IMTA. And that was, I think there was 40, 50,000 people in there. Like the first day you got in there for a conference, get together, I walked in there and I thought, what am I doing here? This is absurd. And I should have known this beforehand.
A bunch of pretty boys.
I mean, the room and the things that are going on. So Ashton Kutcher, Katie Holmes, all these people went through this and made it big starting here. So, you see these success story things, the type of shit you walk into and go, okay. Once you've seen them a million times and you're just like, whatever. And at the time, I was partying a lot, just being crazy. And so they were worried about me because I had a lot of potential that they saw, but I was always late or missed the classes and just whatever. So there was a big concern that they talked to me about. And I told everybody, I said, I'm here. Trust me. Yeah. I was the first one up every morning, 5 a.m., every morning. First one ready to go. The first morning they were looking at me like, who the fuck is this guy? And I took it so serious. Well, I ended up getting fourth runner-up, which is fifth place in the whole thing. I made it to the last day for a special magazine shoot, and I lost because of my age. They told me at the end because I was 24 and the guy that won was 20, and you needed to look more like it was a high school type dance thing. And it's the only reason I lost. I think it was, Pageant or something magazine. Regardless, I got a contract right out of there to go to Milan for one of the biggest agencies in Milan. So I went from not knowing what I was doing to being like a pro in a professional environment and getting over there and still not knowing what the fuck I'm doing, right? Yeah. So I got over there, and then I'm like, okay, I made it. Well, I didn't make shit. You're there with 250 of the best-looking guys in the world.
Did you look average?
Just average as shit. And not that I ever thought I was anything special. They made me feel special by putting me into that category, right? And so I went over there, and I also realized really quickly It's just like anything else that looks super glamorous. If you're not in that top 0.111%, right, you're not doing shit. Yeah. You're losing money. Yeah. Because you're really not making much, and then you're partying so much, and you're living this lifestyle. I mean, trust me, it was a blast. But, you start to realize over there, it's a little different. So I come back here, and what happened is they sent me to another competition in Las Vegas, which I did very well. The problem there was I was partying and didn't look my best. I wasn't taking it too serious, but I still did really well. So I got sent to Baltimore. I did some extras on The Wire. Then I got sent home, and I was going to go out to Chicago for an audition for Days of Our Lives, which I did. And then I went to Ford Modeling Agency and got the contract I wanted. Yeah. Because I had failed sometimes going out to California. My look at the time wasn't what California was really looking for. It was more of a Miami, New York, Midwest look. So I didn't do very well in California because they go with what they're looking for at the time. Yeah. And this just wasn't what they were looking for. So I went to get that contract. Well, I took it home to review it, and I was doing a lot of things I shouldn't have been doing, messing around, selling drugs, using drugs, living a lifestyle that I just wanted to keep up with. Yeah. Well, what happens when you do that shit eventually? You get busted. Yeah. And I got busted. I had to learn the hard way. I threw everything I did all of those years away. Because I left out the fact that I went back to Grandview for school too in between there. And, you're talking Dean's List student, modeling contract, auditioning for different sort of venues and shows and things that you would have never dreamed of. Threw it all away that quick. I got hit with a very severe, scary sentence. Scary. That would scare the shit out of anybody. It come out to a 15-year sentence. Luckily, when you have the good behavior and you're in the state of Iowa, you've got opportunities to cut that down tremendously. All in all, I was in there about 2 years. And then my parents had moved to Maui. I got out very early, great behavior, great recommendations from counselors and people there.
You didn't belong there.
Did not belong there. They knew it, I knew it. But it doesn't matter if you belong there or not. You do belong there if you make the mistakes I made. Yeah. You may not belong there as a whole or as a person, but if you do those types of things, there's a consequence. Yeah. So I had to face that consequence. And I felt sorry for myself for a long time, but and I'm a very religious person. You see my body's covered in tattoos, but they're 90% just Bible stories, religion. Yeah. So I got very much closer to God, got closer with myself and reality. All right, instead of living in this world that I created that I wanted to have and live that's just not reasonable.
What went through your mind those 2 years?
Well, I started off feeling sorry for myself. And I had a conversation with my mom about being upset and how the world, this and that. And she said, do you understand how selfish that you are? You're worried about yourself and you're not worried about the people that you affected. And then to hear her say, me and your dad don't understand why we were bad parents and where we went wrong. And that, I'll never forget that conversation in that time. Because after that, I stopped feeling sorry for myself and started figuring out how I was going to fix this. And because of that moment, that's when it changed in there for me. I was up at 3:30 a.m. every morning. I was outside at 4:30. There was a certain area you could go outside that early before the lights came on. I was out there from 4:30 till 6 o'clock when they did your count. I came in for the count, right back outside, working out till the 8:30 count. Came back in, went out and finished working out. I did that every single morning. They saw me doing it. They were coming to work, seeing me running sprints, running hills, doing burpees out there, everything and anything. And I did it every single day. Same thing. The whole time, never missed a day. Rain, snow, doesn't matter. I did it.
What was your motivation?
Just the fact that I was such a letdown and I was not going to continue to be. Thinking about the people that I hurt, the way that I let myself down, the way I let God down, and the people that cared about me, because I only cared about myself. Literally, and I knew it. I never knew it until I was in there and had the time to think about it. So after I was able to finally get out of there, I got paroled to Maui because my parents lived there. They had moved there. And the point and the moral of the story is, had I not gone through those things, then I wouldn't be where I am today, because I go out there, well, guess what? I meet my wife out there. I get on such a good mindset and track being out there. I would have never moved there, but having that chance to get like one with the world, so to speak, and be out there and to see things and to feel things and to stop taking your freedom and your life for granted. So I do that. We're out there. As soon as I'm let off parole, which I was 4 years early, I only did 1 year of the 5, and they, once again, you don't belong on this. I have no idea. He told me, I have no idea why you're even here. So I was blessed again to get off of that early. Moved to Las Vegas to start pursuing some things, you know, within the bodybuilding industry. I've got some opportunities to start working with some different people. So I got out there, and that's where I kicked it off. I didn't gamble. I stopped drinking. I stopped partying, all of that. And all I did was focus on work. Now, I did a little bit of gambling when we started making a lot of money on sports.
Yeah, how much is a little bit?
A little bit. I had about a 2-month run where I was doing about 5-10 grand a week because I was making a lot of money.
Yeah.
I caught it very quickly and stopped. So that was the one mistake that I really made out there, but I caught it quick, because I'm like, man, I'm busting my ass to buy us a house, to do this, to do that. So this is the point. In 2011, I was living in my mom's basement until 2012. We're now in 2023. So in 11 years, I went from that to owning 3 different houses, 7, 8 businesses that I've at least owned or been a part of, or helped to be successful, even more than that. Numerous YouTube videos, podcasts, just anything and everything. And I'm not even close to where I want to be or where I should be. To me, I'm just kind of getting going, you know, and still learning and figuring out new things that we want to do. But I took it from Vegas. We stayed there 4 or 5 years. I maxed that out to where, you know, my wife wasn't really happy there. I didn't really want to live there anymore. Climate, you know, a little bit of rudeness there, nothing but constant tourists. And so then we moved to Seattle. I had some opportunities there. We were looking at like some marijuana dispensaries because it was legal there that I had really good opportunities with. Well, it turned out that the hoops and the things to go through were impossible.
Yeah.
So, and it was too much money. So I continued to do what I was doing. I bought a new house out there, which to me was extremely overpriced for the area, but because Amazon's out there, it's a very desirable place to live for a lot of people. But the value went up on the house so much that I was able to make a very good amount back on it, and then wanted to move back to Iowa just for the family life.
Yeah.
You know, and all my family's here. I have so many friends here, and just I ran my course on being in big cities, fast life. I just wanted to slow down and have a family, you know, and just settle it down and just focus on paying off things and starting a life to where we could enjoy it. You know, you never want to be stuck to where you can't enjoy your life at all. And I started to find I'm doing great, but I'm not enjoying it. Yeah. I buy this, I buy that, we do this, but I'm not enjoying it because I'm always stressed. I'm always looking at my phone. I've always got to be here. I've always got to do that. And I'm still kind of that way, but it slows down here a little bit. You know, in Seattle, if you want to go do something, it's an all-day affair. Like, we lived about 20 miles outside of Seattle, but it's like with the traffic, the people, the congestion. What we'd have to do is, if we really wanted to do something, I'd have to call and get a car to come pick us up and take us and wait and bring us home. But I don't, you know, that's extra $200 every time you go, or $300. It's just not enjoyable.
Yeah.
So here, I've not only been able to focus, but expand. Yeah. You know, and be able to work on other things while I still got other things going, delegate properly. And then I get my wife involved helping me, and then my mom even has something to do to help me, you know, because my mom's older. My dad passed away out of nowhere, and so I've kind of taken her everywhere we've gone. I mean, I'm going to take care of her no matter what. Yeah. I'm an only child. I put them through hell. They did nothing but the best for me. Yeah. And I'm kind of mama's boy. Yeah. You know, that's what happens when you're an only child.
I can't relate. I'm only child too.
You get it.
Yeah, I get it.
And, you know, I'm Italian, which makes it even worse in terms of, like, the tightness and how that's stressed.
Yeah.
You know, so, but the drive, I'm one of those people. So like you got those people that are, say in sales, say you're selling cars, you hit your quota like the 15th, 16th. Man, I can relax the rest of the month. Now I'm straight. I got nothing to worry about. Or me, it's like, fuck, here we go. Let's start making some money now. You make your multipliers, you make your bonuses. If we sell 15 grand yesterday, which is like a phenomenal day, saying whatever, I'm like, dude, fuck that. We're doing 17 tomorrow. If you don't have that mentality, or somebody else does, guarantee somebody else does. So you have to be like a shark. You have to be all day, every day ready. I've got things going off on my phone all day. I've pulled my car over and stopped like middle of traffic to handle something or take care of something that's split second. That if I'm not on it, someone else is taking it. If you're not like that, you're missing out. That's just how it is. I take my family time and value it, but I'm always ready.
Yeah.
Always ready.
I see what you're saying.
There's something popping off all the time, like because I'm in so many different areas.
Do you think this is something that you were born with, or you developed into?
Both.
Both.
My uncle was like this. He's too old now, but he had that. I saw it, but I developed it after getting in trouble, because once you get a record, you are self-dependent. And I'm glad on that aspect too, because it forced me to be self-dependent. It forced me to go do everything, which it still does. And now I don't depend on anybody. I depend on myself to make something happen. And it's fucking hard. It's hard, but you can make it easier if you just are determined to keep doing it, which is what I do. Trust me when I tell you, that's why you don't see too many people doing it, because it is hard. You have days where you're like, I don't know if I can handle this anymore, but I do. Yeah. They don't have a choice. And I mean, everybody has a choice. You have a choice to be average or mediocre. You have a choice to bust your ass and get everything you can out of whatever you do, you know, or you can just do jack shit, you know, and whatever. Yeah. You always have a choice. My choice is that I want to live a certain way, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure everybody's okay, and then I'm happy, you know, and not stressed. And I look, anytime you ever get a lot of money and you're not used to it, I have made so many mistakes, buying things that I shouldn't buy or whatever. You learn from that, and then you just don't fucking do it anymore. Yeah. You know, it's hard, but the key is trying to be in control. Understand that just as quick as you get money, you can lose money, you know, and then you could get it again. Yeah. Just because something bad happens. I've had so many things go wrong, and then figure out how to make things go right, and then they go wrong, and then they go right. That's just what it is. Yeah. Too many people give up or feel sorry for themselves or blame it on something else, or it's because I'm this or I'm that. No. I hate that shit. That shit gets used so much now to the point it makes me sick. That it's because I'm this or that or that. No, motherfucker, it's because you suck at what you do. Period. Or you don't have the drive. I have no time for people like that don't take accountability. And it's bad because everybody that leads anymore always blames somebody else. I fucking take accountability when I'm wrong, and that's another thing that's made me successful. I can admit a mistake. I have no issue admitting a mistake or admitting when I'm wrong. That's one of the reasons I have a successful marriage, because when I'm wrong, I get pissed, and I say stuff sometimes I shouldn't say, and I am, within 5 fucking minutes, I'm in there apologizing and saying, you know what, I'm a dick. And I have you should never have a problem doing that, because if you do, look, here's something for you. Always remember this. Pride does not pay your bills.
Right.
Ever.
Okay.
It never pays your bills. You can I'm going to stand up to this, and I'm not going to take this. Okay. So then your ass gets fired, or you get canceled, or you get this, or you get that. Or sometimes you eat a little crow and do what's best for your life, your family, your business, or your success. I used to be that, I fucking know everything. I know this. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that. Da-da-da-da-da. Gets you nowhere.
Pride.
It gets you nowhere. You know, like the people that want to get in fist fights and this and that. Dude, you could say whatever the fuck you want to me. I'm going to laugh my ass to the bank. Seriously. All day. So I don't care. Like, I used to get comments on YouTube and stuff before. Shit, somebody told me to fucking kill myself. And I'd get all upset and whatever. And you know what my response is now? Thank you very much for coming by because your comment helps my channel to grow.
Yeah.
I'm not for everybody, but I appreciate you stopping by. Fuck yourself.
But that's, I think this is the mentality that you have to have when you're at your level, right? And you not only were born with some of this, but you also developed it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like having something that is raw and making a final, because this is your mentality, right?
Absolutely. It's who I am. You either really like me or you really don't. And I hope you do, but if you don't, I'm going to be just fucking fine.
And I see that you get so like, it not only, you don't get angry, but it's just, you're so passionate about talking about accountability.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I am too. And I'm like, every time I point a finger, I try to make sure that these 3 fingers are accounted for.
Yeah.
Because they're like, ultimately it's your fault. And
Absolutely.
I can relate with that so much. So if that's what's gonna take to eventually 7 years from now, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna be doing, but if that's what's gonna take from a mental point of view, then I'm gonna keep doing that.
All right. Look, you're going to make a million mistakes. The best teachers have generally made the most mistakes because they're teaching you what they learned from. Do you think I just come up with some of the shit I'm telling you because I've been perfect? It's because I fucked up so much. But I know it. I know it. And I can tell you exactly where I did it. I can tell you what not to do, and I can tell you how to go about it and how to fix it. You know, I don't have my own kids, but I really do because I have 2 step-kids. And that can be a difficult situation for some people, you know, for multiple reasons. These kids, I talk with them, they listen to what I'm saying, they follow what I'm doing, they want to know, they want to quiz me, they want to ask me. I tell them, because they'll always text me and go, is it okay if I call you? And I say, damn it, don't do that. You call me, I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care if I'm in the middle of a huge meeting. You call me, you're talking to me. People can wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing's more important than that. But my point is that they listen and they want to learn it and they feel it and then they go practice it. My stepson, when he was 18, I started teaching him about credit. And he did everything I told him. And he bought his own house at 20 years old. Me and my wife and it's funny that we're even talking about this, just out of nowhere looked yesterday to see how much the house was worth now, because he's in the Air Force, so he's in Japan right now, and they're renting the house to somebody. They bought the house for $170. It's worth double. And he's in that position because he did everything I taught him about his credit at 18. Nobody taught me anything at 18 about credit, and you know what my position was at 20?
Fucked.
I was already in $10,000 worth of credit card debt. Slammed, didn't know what to do. That's why I started with the drugs, to try to fix that I caused. That was the reason. And so my stepdaughter now has done the same thing. I'm not going to say what she's got in her savings. She's built a great savings. She's got almost a brand new car, and she's in Maui doing this. Done everything that I've told her to do because I made all of these mistakes, and then I studied credit because it's everything in your life. So I took credit like you would take your major in college if you loved it and you really were into it and you just read just kind of like how I got into health and fitness, where I still have to read studies and things almost every single night. But that's what I did with credit for years. And I learned it and I perfected it. I learned how to fix it. I learned how to manage it. I learned the different score ratios, what they go to, what different factors go into what, because now there's like so many different FICO scores that can get you a car, but your car credit score is not the same as your real estate credit score. And with bank cards and credit cards, it's all different. So you have to know how to fix all of these things and get around the things and manipulate it. Because say you open 3-4 credit cards, go charge $1,000 and just pay them off every month. Or do the same thing and have it under 20% but carry a balance every month. You would think paying them off every month is by far the better scenario because you're showing you can pay your debts off. No.
No.
No. That could potentially decrease your score. It may or may not. If you keep the balance carried, but it's under a certain threshold, it's showing your debt to income ratio is proper, that you manage and maintain balances every month and know how to do it.
But you're maintaining a balance. You're getting charged on interest for that.
Maybe, maybe not. It depends on what kind of cards you've got. But
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Generally, yes. Now that's where you'd want a credit union card, which has a much lower APR than a.
Yeah.
Right. That's a different discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you have to understand that. That's why I teach them. You know, put your Verizon bill in there and pay your gas every month, and pay it down to this percent. Well, it's like, dude, my stepdaughter's 21 and her credit score's almost 800. But she listened and learned. If you start doing this shit when you're young and then you're my age, fucking retire. Fucking retire. I've blown millions of dollars in my 20s, which was bad money. And I've blown money as I got older.
Yeah. But with a lot more measurements and
absolutely. Much more calculated. I've paid off a ton of shit.
Yeah.
You know, in the process. And, you know, it's, look, life in general has no handbook. Parenting, you know, growing up. There's not a handbook for this shit. It's a never-ending lesson, even when you're in your 70s and your 80s, because when you're that old, you're in a steady state mentality, right? Where you just, it's your way or no way, and you don't adapt with the times. You always got something to learn.
Yeah.
It never ends. And when you understand that life is just growth, it's constant growth, it's growing. You get taught facts in school, you learn these facts, but life, they don't teach you life. Math is not life. Science is not life. These are just facts. They're part of life. But experience is life, correct? Like going through things, getting out in the trenches, learning how people work, communication. That's life. That's life. There's facts, and then there's life, right?
Wow.
So I realized that as I got older. Book Smart's great. Book Smart's great. Book Smart does a lot for you, but Book Smart doesn't run your life. That's why you see some of the smartest ass people, Harvard graduates, doctors, you put them in situations, they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. And you're thinking, what the fuck? This guy should know everything.
Yeah.
They have no experience. Never been in a situation. Never been in like real life, like business, negotiations or whatever the case may be. Pressure situations. Panic.
Who teach you how to run a business? Nobody.
No, nobody taught me how to run a business. My parents never owned their own business. Nobody that I know owned their own business. I learned how to run my own business through others that were successful that I listened to and didn't think I know better than. Don't question them. Learn from their mistakes. Take concepts that are good and make them great. It's paying attention to detail and not thinking you know too much. You start thinking you know too much and you got this shit down, you lose. And you lose big.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, once again, it goes back to that pride and that mentality. You know, and look, I would, shit, you know how many people do that? Think they know everything, or their way's the only way, they're always right. They don't listen, they don't take accountability. When you start going and looking back at things, and then you go, blame that on that person. I blame that on. If you got to sit down and like think about scenarios and things that went wrong during time frames, and then you start going, well, fuck, I'm like 20-0, man. I can't lose. But then all this bad shit keeps happening. But it was them. No, motherfucker.
That was you.
It was you. I've had to look at myself and say that. I have had to tell my wife that. I don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look. Think about this. Here's what you got to think about. When you wake up in the morning the next day, are you going to think about that shit? Somebody calls me a name on YouTube. I don't give a fuck when I get up in the morning.
No.
I don't give a shit. Like, if you're thinking about that when you wake up in the morning, you got your own problems.
You got problems, yeah.
You got your own problems, and that means you're not focused on anything else but yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loves themselves, but you know what I mean? You should. But that shit, it's like selfish shit, and it ain't getting you anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not. It's to me, I'm just going to say it, it's a bitch mentality. I'm sorry, whoever doesn't like it. It's a fact, and you know it, and that's why you don't like hearing it.
Yeah.
It's bitch mentality, and I don't have that. I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
I just don't.
What do you think people don't like about like what you're saying?
Because they know it's true, and they don't want to hear it, and it's too harsh for some people. It's mean. No, it's not. Mean is me like calling you an idiot, or that's mean.
Yeah.
Something derogatory. It's not mean when it's true. It's just not.
It's fact.
It's a fact. Listen, I always wanted the coaches that yelled at me more because I knew they cared, or the people that were on me more, or taught me more, didn't let me get away with stuff. God bless my mom. She let me get away with too much.
Yeah.
I love her for it, but like my dad didn't really let me get away with anything.
Yeah.
And trust me, my mom was brutal when I was a kid. She was a teacher.
Yeah.
That's how I got good in school. Because of that. I mean, shit. I remember those spelling test Fridays. Man, if I wasn't spelling my pre-tests all right, I couldn't even get out of the car to go into school. No shit. It'd make me late. Anything didn't matter. My dad was doing because my dad's a numbers guy. And my mom's an English teacher. He was doing flashcards with me. Man, I was in kindergarten learning multiplication shit when we weren't even coming close to that till like second grade. I mean, and then he coached me and all. I played 4 sports in high school. Like, I was doing a lot. But I also became a prick, wanting to party and into girls and drinking and not giving a shit.
What do you think? I know that like in a perfect world, you will be able to criticize anybody, but what do you think your parents could have done better? Like, and now looking back, like, what are the mistakes that you think that you don't want to make with your stepson?
I do kind of the things they do because I'm a spoiler.
Yeah.
And so I probably got too much, especially considering that they didn't have the kind of money to spend on me that they were spending. And you don't understand when you're a kid. You have no idea.
No.
I see now that they sacrificed a ton of shit to do everything for me. Like, you don't understand until you get older and understand like the way things cost, and how life works. And when you're a kid, you don't know all the bills they're paying. Like your parents will tell you, just wait till and you're like, oh, fuck, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, get out on your own and you realize there's this. And then if one thing happens when they're on a smaller income, they got to go charge it. You know what I mean? There's no extra money because they're making sure you've just got everything. And I feel like shit for that. And that's part of the reason why I think I do so much like as I can for my mom. Even if it's not feasible, I do it anyway.
Yeah. But from the mentality perspective, what are you teaching them? Like, are you like, you're telling them, don't be a bitch, like, go get it?
Yeah, and they do. My stepson is already in flight school, becoming a pilot. Just got accepted into like the best flying school that he can as soon as they are done in Japan. My stepdaughter has literally the best job in the island in Maui because she works at Mama's Fish House. It's the highest end restaurant in Maui, and Maui is all hospitality. You go there, there's no like corporate jobs or like big. It's hospitality.
Yeah.
And she works at the most expensive restaurant in the island, and it's impossible to get hired, and nobody quits. But when COVID happened, things happened, and something opened up. And to be honest with you, they're not racist against white people, but they don't love, inhabiting their land and stuff. I always got treated fine, but I've seen it. I've seen it. I've been around it. I didn't have that issue, and I don't like the race thing card unless it's really, really there because that shit gets way overdone. Yeah. But it does go on there a little bit. I mean, then they'll tell you. Yeah. So, it's hard to get that job there. You got to fit a certain standard, and nobody quits. Because she was actually, I had her ready to move in with us.
Yeah.
She was signed up to start at DMAC and then going, and then COVID hit right when that happened. And then she ended up getting that job. And I told my wife, I said, as much as I want her off that island, she's got to stay. And now she's doing tremendous. And she hasn't even advanced anywhere near she can go. I love those kids like you don't understand, seriously. I mean, major.
Do you have mentors?
I have mentors that I've had, and that I still go to. Even on questions I know the answer to. You know what I mean? Because you want that...
second opinion.
Well, you want that reassurance. And sometimes, even when you know the answer, just hearing the person that you need to tell you makes all the difference in the world. Makes all the difference. Even like I realize now some of the shit my mom said was ridiculous, but I'll still go to her just to hear her tell me it's okay or this or that, and I'll buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just can't help it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty good about sifting through bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, nobody is perfect, and anybody can get over on anybody because there's some really fucking sneaky good people out there. But it's a little bit harder on, you know.
Yeah, of course. Like just like you were mentioning at the beginning about your business, that like now people will try to like get sponsorships with you for things that are not necessarily taking care of your image on like, the person that you are, the persona that you portrayed on businesses and social media.
I mean, like I was telling you beforehand, it's bait and switch. It's like, and I do this just with the supplement industry. You'll get a company that will come to you with like the right products the first time, get you in, and then they'll sell you dog shit after that. Right. So these people would, you know, want me to go help them sell something and act like they had great intentions when in reality they had nothing but bad intentions. And then, you know, I can't have that going on. That's why I'm very careful who I will promote, talk with, associate with. And, you know, I mean, I don't agree with all of this shit. I hate it. But the way the society is like, if you do one thing or say one thing or around somebody that somebody don't like, you're fucked. And it's so fucking weak. I mean, there's so many people that I disagree with that I am close with. And I always tell people, okay, so you're telling me you don't like this person because they don't like this and they don't agree, da-da-da. Do you ever fight with your mom and dad? You ever fight with your wife? You fucking hate them if they say something you don't agree with? No. I mean, fuck's sake. I'm the wrong guy to talk about this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're on the other side of that, if you're on the side I'm on, you love me.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're not, you're going to hate me, and I don't give a shit. I don't operate that way. I don't hate people just because they say something I don't like once or have this feeling or whatever. What the fuck? I don't care.
You don't have filters.
No. That's ridiculous. That's absurd. That is the weakest fucking shit that I've ever seen. What the fuck is that? I mean, what is it? So essentially, you only want to be people around that are going to tell you, you're great, you're right, I fucking love you. I don't want to hear that shit.
No.
I hate fucking people around me that are yes, man. I don't want that shit.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Fuck.
You want the real ones.
Yeah. If you agree with every single thing or don't offer me a different idea or a different scenario or aspect, what the fuck help are you?
Yeah.
You know, of course I want some people around that I have, like, people that enjoy sports, you know, that I can converse with. But I also want to argue with you about, like, the players or the teams you like or who's good or who's not. Yeah. I don't want you to fucking like every team I like or everything. What the fuck? What fun is that?
So have you found that because people put you in a pedestal, there can no longer be a conversation with their, like, actually engage in a conversation?
You know, it's different. Like, people I know or grew up with or get to know me know it's, like, all good. Let's roll, you know? Because I can learn some shit from you and you can learn some shit from me.
Always.
Oh, so here's an example, because I'm huge into music. Huge. I DJ'd several years. A lot of those years I was modeling. You know, I worked at night DJing and bartending and things like that. Those are the kind of jobs you have to do. I'm in, because I don't do a lot of interaction on social media aside from, like, you know, I do, but I don't. But one of the things I like to do is, like, the 80s groups.
Yeah. With,
like, TV, toys, and music. Like 80s, 90s music. I love those groups. But you get into these groups and people will put up a thing. It's like, you know, this song or that song or rate your favorite bands. And so, like, I love it because I can see, like, man, okay, so he likes that. I didn't really get into that. Let's check that shit out. Or, ooh, they don't like what I like. I wonder why. You know, that type of shit. So, you know, I find Pearl Jam to be extremely overrated.
Really?
I do. And some people on there totally agree with me. But the people that don't, it's like, I'm the worst guy that ever fucking lived.
It's just a like.
And I'm like, well, I'm telling you, the songs just don't move me. I've always just listened to them because everybody else does, but I don't care for them. Yeah. If you want to ask me who my favorite bands are, I'm going to tell you the ones I fucking listen to the most and my kind of sound. Yeah. But I do want to know why you like them or what your sounds are, because it's cool as shit. We can rap about music. But these motherfuckers act like you're just like Satan himself because you don't like what they like.
Yeah.
I'm like, geez, what the fuck?
With you, like I see what you're saying. But especially you gotta be careful with what you say, right? Nowadays you have to. I know that you don't want to put filters on what you want to keep it real.
Yeah.
But do you think that you can keep it real with so much censorship that lately is going in the country?
Well, it's hard. That you have to have restraint. But you're not. I'm not gonna hide who I am. I mean, I might not get into it like I'm getting into it with you.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna be a bitch. I mean, you know what I mean, or what I see as one. I'm gonna be the real guy that anybody can talk to. We can discuss whatever topic. You don't agree with me? Cool. Let's figure out what you like. Figure out what I like, and maybe I'll see something that I'm not seeing, and you give me a reason. I'm like, well, shit, that makes sense, because I've had that happen a million times.
Yeah.
I've had people that I look at and think I don't like, I end up fucking loving them.
Yeah.
Just loving them. Some of my closest friends at the beginning, I thought, man, I hate this motherfucker. I don't even want to talk to, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, and you should want to listen maybe what somebody else has to say or think and say, whoa, shit, you know? I can't tell you how many times I've picked up new music or, you know, different, like, you know, I'm a big shoe guy. Different shoes that I thought, like, oh, man, I don't like that shit. And then, like, whoa, he showed me it on foot or in hand or rocked with this outfit. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm an idiot. I can't tell you how many times my wife's name's Queenie. And I'll say, Queenie, I'm a fucking idiot. And she'll go, what now?
You bought another pair of shoes?
Yeah, all right. I said, you know what? These are sick as hell. And I told you they suck. Don't go for them, you know.
Yeah.
That's fun, man. Shit. We laugh our ass off.
How many pairs of shoes do you have?
A lot. A lot.
Just give me a number.
Over 200.
Whoa! Whoa!
We'll leave it at that.
This is insane.
I haven't worn half of them.
Well, what's the point of having so many? You just like the collection?
Look, some people like the way shoes look. Some people like to style them. I like all of that, but I like the story.
Yeah.
Jordans have a story.
Yeah.
Special Dunks have a story. You know, when you look at the shoes and you see that, and this is when I grew up, and it means a lot to me because I'm a avid Jordan fan.
Yeah.
You see the story behind the Jordan, you know, Jordan 11, like Space Jam when it came out with the movie, or the Jordan 12 flu game shoe, and you know that he wore this shoe when he had this monumental game, and there's a story, the Jordan 6 Carmine, when they, you know, when the Jordan 3 cements, like they all have a story. And to me, I find tremendous value in the story, and then I put my wife through the ringer when I was teaching her shoes. She's no clue about shoes.
Yeah.
If you look like on my YouTube videos, you can see in my room the cases with all the shoes in the background.
Yeah.
So I tell her, come in. I go, okay, it's time. Come in my office. She comes in, and I'll go, what's that? And she'll look at me and look back and look at me and look back, and she'll go, Jordan 3, like, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Now she knows them all. We went through it, and we did it time after time after time after time.
Never miss.
Like, she'll do like 95% now.
Wow.
And I've got some different shit, rare shit in there. So I put her through class.
But is this only for shoes, or is it also for watches?
I only have a couple watches. I sold a lot of them. I stopped collecting jewelry. I just have what I wear now and kind of keep it to a minimum. That was too much.
That was too much.
I don't need to do all that.
Do you have a whole room for everything that you store?
No, I got different spaces for things.
Yeah.
But you know, I love my shoes, but I kind of humbled out more with the shit I was buying.
Yeah.
I mean, I modeled for years, so my closet's full of designer clothes. It's just what I wear. I don't do that for anybody. That's just what I fucking wear because that's all I ever wore.
Yeah.
You know, but then a lot of that now is down to a lot of gym clothes, you know, and stuff. But I rock them outright. I'm big on matching, and like today I didn't have time I only steamed my shirt. I hated myself for it because normally I iron everything before I leave. I didn't want to come over here without a fully ironed shirt at all. Like, I hate that.
Really?
It's not professional.
Do you think that people, like, are you a believer that people judge you by the way that they see you dress?
Sometimes, yes, but I think when you walk in and it's not, you don't need to have on a $500 shirt to impress me. You need to come in looking sharp, like stuff is ironed or it looks tailored, it looks nice, you know, things like that. If you're coming to me for a business meeting or something like that. So even when I wear like jean shorts like this, I make sure they're fucking high end. They look nice. They they fit the attire. It's not falling off, baggy, you know, whatever. My shoes are always spit clean, like everything. I try to make everything as good as it can because I care about how I present myself. I don't need to impress you. I don't give a shit. I mean, I want you to think I look good, but I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to show you I care about how I look. And presenting yourself in a certain way shows that you took the time to care. And that it means something to you.
Yeah.
It's not, people get it wrong. Oh, he thinks he's this or he's that. No. Maybe when I was in my 20s, you're absolutely right. I wanted to be hot shit, and I did think I was the shit, even if I wasn't. Not now. Now I just want to show you that I care about how I look and present myself. If you want to look at my clothes and say, oh, he's got this or that on or this or that, great. That's not my goal. It's not my goal anymore. I want to, you know who I want to look good for? My wife when I leave. That's who I care about now. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, I'm not 25 years old running around. I mean, what do I care? I don't need that affirmation.
Yeah.
I have the affirmation that I need.
Yeah. Now that you're like, I mean, whatever you want to call it, but successful, you got your shit in place. What fulfills your life at a greater purpose?
I'll tell you what. Very easy. Very easy. You'd think that'd be a loaded question, and it's not. When I see smiles that I can create, like genuine, and I mean I know, like when I go home and I've done something and like my wife's just enamored, or I, like, for instance, Sunday, I took my mom and my wife to that Doobie Brothers concert downtown, and my mom had been she kept saying it over and over as soon as I told her how much it would mean to her to go to that, how much it would mean to her to go to that, how much it would mean to her. So for Mother's Day, I bought the tickets. Let's go. So that was her Mother's Day gift, which we went Sunday, and she's texted me and called me like 7-8 times thanking me, to the point where I had to tell her stop. But things like that, when my stepdaughter texts me out of nowhere and says, you know, look, because I'm on her about keeping her car clean and this and that and how important it is. You don't deserve nice shit if you don't take care of it. Her texting me out of the blue, showing it to me. That's what I'm living for and what keeps me going. Those kind of moments. And, you know, like my kitten is like my daughter. She's everything to me. When she comes and I see her come to me and like just excited to see me, let out a yell. That's all the stuff that matters to me now. And that everybody's safe, happy, and secure, that drives me every single day. Because I have a lot of days where it'd be so easy to just be like down and like there's a lot of shit daily I go through. I'm making this sound great, but it's not. Like, it's hard. I make it great. You know what I mean? I force it to be, because it's fair. Man, there's something every day almost. Something stressful.
I'd imagine with 7 businesses, it's just crazy.
It's something, and that's life, dude. But when you can create some joy and happiness, and you know you caused it. To me, like I can forget about a lot of shit when that happens. Literally, like I can just exit. That's like, you know, having a short-term memory when you need to. When me and my wife get into an argument, we can, you know how those things could drag.
Yeah.
Or people could act shitty and pissy for hours, even days. I never go to sleep without saying I love you, and I never let a fight last longer than 15 minutes. I can be over something like this. Literally. It's not worth it, man. I've seen, until you see people die, pass away, things suffer, and you start to get a little older. And not that I'm old, but I'm telling you, you start thinking about shit that you never thought you'd think about. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? But you start to see your mortality. You see that you're getting older, and you see people that you went to school getting older, and you see things happen. So the petty shit, the holding the grudges, the things, like that stuff cannot happen. It just cannot happen. Let me tell you something. Lose time, lose freedom, lose things like that. You really see the value of time. And then as you get older, the time goes, I mean, shit, you wake up and it's like it was Christmas and now it's June.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that shit.
Wow.
I don't have time for none of that shit. If you want to hold a grudge with me and you want to be that way, fuck it. I'm not going to do it with you. When you decide it's over, it's over.
You do it alone.
You do it alone. I'm not, if I see you, I'm still going to wave.
Yeah.
If you want to go for it. I don't just smile right back at you. I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. It's just, I'm not doing it. It's not worth it.
What do you want to leave people with?
What?
What do you want to leave people with in this earth?
Hopefully my mentality, like the drive, the mentality, and I want people to understand that no matter what happens, you can overcome it, but you have to be willing to do what that takes. And if you're not, then you're not. But I used to be embarrassed to talk about some of the things I went through until I realized it's a huge, huge positive and plus and motivator, which teaches you that no matter what, if you really, 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 really have that drive, and you have to never lose it,
Yeah.
you can fix things. But you literally have to have the right mindset. And I'm telling you, the accountability is where it starts. Promise you. The minute you start doing that, you're on your way. Until you do that, you're stagnant. I promise. And you won't have the respect. You will not have the respect. And if you can't have the respect of people around you, that's when there's a problem. There's a lot of people I don't like that I really, really respect. And I am not ashamed to say it at all. I might not like them, but not everybody's going to like you.
Yeah.
No way, no how.
You're not a golden coin.
No, and you can't try. If you try to make everybody like you, they're going to like you less.
And you're fake.
Exactly. You have to accept that, but you have to earn their respect. If you can do that, if you can pull off somebody not liking you and still get their respect, you've won. You've won big. So I always try to at least get people's respect. I understand not everybody's going to like me or agree with me. I get it. I don't know everything. They don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. Everybody's got their preference. Everybody's wired a certain way. It is what it is.
But you're wired that way, and
that's what you're going to get. So,
Dylan, wow, it's been real.
Appreciate it, man.
I think a lot of people are gonna find this very motivational, and I hope they don't. I hope that they'd rather find it one way or another. They get their ass to work.
Hope so.
And get going. Chase that money. Chase that bag.
That's right. That's right. It's a never-ending thing, man.
Anything else that we left that we should know about you before we leave?
No. I mean, that's an infinite conversation, but I think that's probably enough for most.
Yeah. If you made it this far, subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you, Dylan.
Thanks,
Appreciate it, man.
Anytime.